Welcome back on the AM show. Excitement. Yes, excitement. We celebrate our own. From a pool of 150 pitches worldwide, the United Nations took notice of Ghana's exceptional contribution. The Ghana Statistical Service's data science team achieved a significant feat by clinching the top spot. Yeah, you heard me. Number one in the highly sought after 2023 United Nations Datathon. What is that? Now, this global data science competition tasked participants with creating innovative, data-driven applications, tools or models that combined geospatial data with other sources to propel the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. We know about all that. So today we're hosting the team, some of the members of that team. They've joined us in the studio to tell us about this datathon. Nowadays there are cookathons and all kinds of thons, but they engaged in a datathon. They'll be telling you a bit about that. We have in the studio Simon Tichutab Onilimo. He's a data scientist with the Ghana Statistical Service, and Laurent Smits. Yes, he says it's Laurent Smits, a data science lead, Ghana Statistical Service. Gentlemen, a very good morning to you.
Thank you.
Simon and Laurent. I'd just like to find out, my first question to you. What is this datathon? I've already explained a bit more about it, but what really goes into it? Simon, I'll start with you.
Thank you very much, Benjamin, and good morning to our viewers, and good morning to management and staff of Ghana Statistical Service.
Oh, and to my good friend, a very good Professor Enim. Very affable character.
Yes, please. So the datathon, as you rightly indicated, just as a marathon, it's a competition where, as you indicated, the United Nations organize, bringing best brains in the data space to come and compete, develop innovative solutions to enhance the implementation of sustainable development goals. So basically, if you ask me about a datathon, that is what it is about.
Laurent, for you, you're a team lead. What would you say is the thrust of all of this? I mean, hosting this datathon and all of that. What's the end game? Yes, the SDGs and all that, but from where you sit, what's the end game?
Well, the end game, I think, is bringing together talented people that might not have looked at this data and give them a bit of a pressure cooker environment. And as we all know, in a pressure cooker, things cook faster. So many brains across the world have been looking at how to measure SDGs, how do we measure progress, and how are countries doing. But more importantly, and that was the subtopic of this specific datathon, can we localize those SDGs? And we might find that Ghana or any other country is doing well or not so well on an SDG indicator overall, but that only tells a small part of the story. The true story is how are specific regions, or in Ghana's case, districts, doing on specific SDG indicators. Because at the district level is where policy changes will need to happen and steering of policy will need to happen. And that was this specific datathon. The challenge was, can we give people 72 hours to come up with solutions that will help people develop methods to localize the measuring of SDG indicators?
Okay, so whatever has the implication of a marathon means speed is required to do something. So I'd like you to walk me through what exactly is the process? What happens? 72 hours, yes, but what do you have to do within that space of time to emerge at any level? Simon, what happens?
Okay, so within 72 hours, the teams were expected to actually use data sources provided by the United Nations and other resources. So, for example, we're supposed to host our solution on Amazon Web Services. We're also supposed to develop innovative solutions. It could be interactive tools, it could be applications, it could be anything, a dashboard that actually speaks to the story on SDGs. So within a 72-hour space, I remember we hosted ours in Rwanda. So the team actually went to Rwanda. And I mean, aside Rwanda, we had the datathon happening in other places like Uruguay, in Dubai and other places. But within the 72 hours specifically, the teams were expected to bring out innovative solutions.
Okay.
The best they could think of, anything that they could develop, which actually addresses issues that relate well with SDGs. So basically, within the 72 hours, that was what we were supposed to do. And the team from GSS Data Science Unit, we did a very great job. Sleepless night over the 72 hours. We just have to make sure.
That's a period of 3 days.
3 days.
We're just working back to back.
Working back to back.
How many members are in your team?
5 of us.
Yeah. 5 of you. Were you all in Rwanda?
Yes, we're all in Rwanda in the
Wow.
same space and working for the 72 hours. But I think on the 69th hour, we were able to submit our solution just on the second. And I mean,
Wow.
from that point, we realized, yes, it was going to be great.
But there was hope.
Yes.
So, yes.
Okay, so Laurent, tell me about the experience, and were you expecting to win 150 pitches? I mean, you have to be realistic because you are blind. You don't even know what someone is doing in Uruguay or some other place. You don't even know what solutions they brought, whether they turned in earlier than you did, whether they hosted earlier than you did. I'm sure all of those are metrics, but what was the feeling like? And did you expect to win?
Yes, I did think, like, when we decided...
You felt you had a chance?
Yeah, like, so we went to Rwanda because that's where the UN data science hub is for Africa. So
right.
That's why we traveled. And I was like, if we're going to travel across the continent, we better win. So yes, I had good hopes for us winning. Right. But indeed, the difference between a datathon and a marathon is that you don't know if you won once you reach the finish.
Yeah.
You don't know what other participants have done. And yeah, so yesterday was the award ceremony. We got to see short presentations from other competing teams. And yeah, it was... there were great solutions as well, very diverse as well. Yeah.
Oh, you see.
And to add to that, I remember before we even did the application, my lead told me, Simon, if we will have to go, then we must win.
Oh, wow, wow,
yeah.
wow. So you already went with that mentality.
With that mentality, that positive mentality. And I mean, actually, we actually anticipated winning the best in Africa. But for me, I didn't have...
So you were targeting Africa.
Exactly.
And
I mean,
they say you shoot for the moon or you shoot for the stars.
Yes, so fortunately for us, yes, and based on the effort we put in and the kind of product we developed, God has been so good. We came up as the first place team in the world. Yeah.
In this sense, you shot for the moon and got the stars instead. But you won a number of things, right? There are, and that is one of them. Top 3 teams overall, down under. Data Wizards, Australia, then there was, so Brazil, and then of course, so Brazil was second, placed second. And then Ghana Statistical Service Data Science Team, Ghana coming up with the first prize. So there were some categorizations: best presentation, best visualization, best team from Sub-Saharan Africa, and best youth team. So your team was also a very youthful team.
Yeah, so UN...
You brought some swag to the Datathon.
So, I mean, they had their definition of what they were referring to as youth.
Okay.
And I think our team made those, we qualified in that particular category. And then for the best presentation, we actually developed a story map that was actually telling the story. And then also had a video blended stuff which was explaining our product. So I think based on this measurement, they were able to indicate that our team came up in terms of best presentation. And then also for the team in Sub-Saharan Africa, I mean, being the first place in the world, there was no two ways about it, coming up to be the best in Sub-Saharan Africa. And then I think the other one was best visualization. We had a lot of beautiful visuals in our product, blending geospatial maps together with other applications, and it was interesting. Yeah.
Laurent, so your product. Now the question is, I mean, when you do these things, if you win an award, if it were in another setting, they would say venture capitalists and you've won the award and they are going to invest in you. What happens to your product now? I mean, it was like a mock dry run, but what happens to your product? And how are you hoping that this feat will impact Ghana as far as the SDGs are concerned? I think that will be one of the last things we look at.
Okay, well, so I think our product in a way fits in quite well with what GSS more broadly.
So what was your product about?
The product was about can we use non-traditional data sources, whether that is maybe satellite data or data on telephone use. All of this is publicly available to measure certain, or at least proxies for certain indicators. Can we measure access to electricity? Can we measure access to education? Can we measure access to healthcare? Can we measure if people are actually using electricity by using satellite data, taking pictures of Ghana at night and see where are the lights on? And can we use that as a proxy for indicators that GSS does measure, but maybe only every 10 years. Like we do the census, we did the census in 2021. That gave us a whole lot of data. We cannot do a census every year.
Right.
So in between censuses, can we use that data to still get information on SDG indicators at the district level. So yeah, the hope is to, by showing that that works, can we now do maybe yearly reports on how we expect districts are doing on SDG indicators based on these non-traditional data sources. Okay. And the specific product, I think, is now hosted on the UN website, and we get to present it later this year at a big UN data conference.
So I'm going to say kudos to Simon, Laurent, Peter, Ahmed, and Femke, the members of your team. I see their names here. Sure. Kudos to you. You've made Ghana so proud. Final words, 10, 15 seconds. Final words. We have to go.
I want to use this opportunity to thank management and then the CEO of Ghana Statistical Service, Professor Samuel Kobnenim, for giving us the opportunity. Actually, he pushed for this to happen, and we are grateful for the team. And yesterday was massive in the office when we were declared winners.
Party after party.
Exactly. We received a standing ovation from all the staff. They were clapping everywhere on the block, and that was so massive. We appreciate the support they've given us. We're so much grateful, hoping to do better, implement data science in the operations of Ghana Statistical Service.
Laurent?
Yeah, nothing much to that. Yeah, very proud of the team, very proud of the data science unit. GS has only started the data science unit just over a year ago, and now ready to take home a prize is incredible. So, yeah,
congratulations to you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you.
Thanks.
All right, stay with me. Simon Tichitab Onilimo, data scientist, Ghana Statistical Service. Laurent Smits, data science lead, Ghana Statistical Service. They've made us proud. But stay with us. I'll tell you about another entity making Ghana proud. DBS is up next on the AM Show.